Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Cha Cha Mystique, and you're now tuned into Live at Radio. Tonight, we're going to have an exclusive interview with one of New York's most famous drug dealer kingpin. It's his son coming through to speak his truth, and we're going to get to see what really happened. Address some of the elephants in the room, some of the rumors, some of the accusations, and definitely some of the clout that's been out here chasing. He's definitely in the building right now. Let me add him up here so we could get this thing started. Hello?
What's up?
Hey, what's up?
What's going on?
Okay, so for the record, what is your name?
Alpo Martinez.
All right, and what they know you as?
Gumby.
All right, so we're going to address a few elephants in the room for this interview, but I just want to let you know this interview is really about you and to, get your mindset and shed a light on who you are. All right, so we all know that you are the son of one of New York's most notorious kingpins, and unfortunately he met his demise. But I kind of want to get a little background about you and growing up and what was that like, knowing that kind of information. So can you tell me how it all started?
To be honest, I know who my father was all my life. I never really let his reputation precede anything that I did. I was raised to be my own man. So I never really took heed into telling who he was to me and all that. I wanted people to know me for me and to love me for me. So never really used it, but I know who he was all my life. I knew the influence and the bad outcomes of what he brought to Harlem. But to me, that none of that really matters. I mean, I'm sorry to whatever people feel about him, but shit don't really got nothing to do with me. I was a baby. I don't justify none of that. I live my own life, my own truth.
Yeah. So, I mean, you saying that you knew who he was all your life. Did that affect your childhood? Like, did people try to press you or, try to use you to get to him? Things like that?
For the most part, you got you got the critics who gonna say what they're gonna say. I never really indulged in nothing. People gonna talk. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Everybody's entitled to say what they're gonna say. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just live my life like I had to show people who I was. Let them judge me for me. You know what I'm saying? My father's history, my father's how can I say this? Like, my father's reputation, that's his reputation. You know what I'm saying? The streets lost a Harlem figure. I lost a father. So the two things ain't really the same. Like, I'm not trying to live off his name, so I just really move how I move. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I really don't have no justification for none of that.
Okay, great. So, growing up and trying to get to know who your father is, because obviously he wasn't physically around. Did you have did you still establish a great relationship with him while he was in the prison doing his bid in the feds?
Well, to be honest, I think I was 2 when my dad left. My mom always made sure I knew who he was. I was fortunate to be raised by somebody else who, showed me how to be a man. But my moms would never let me forget who was my dad, where I came from, what brought me into this world. So I had a great understanding of who he was and everything, the understanding of how he loved me and all that. But due to unfortunate circumstances, we didn't have a great father-son relationship. So as he came home, I tried to build that to, better my life, better some questions in my life, let my son know who's his grandfather, and also try to connect with my dad, you know what I'm saying? So I could fill some holes in my life and all that. But I always knew who he was, always went to visit him, wasn't no distance between us. I just kept it a distance because, like I said, I didn't want nobody judging me for him. I want people to know me for me and how I carry myself.
Did you carry any kind of like resentment though? Like, you know how kids growing up, like I put myself, you know, I had a parent who was a drug abuser, you know what I'm saying? And they were unable to be in my life. And, you know, you carry certain chips on your shoulder because of those things. Did that happen with you, or you was fine with how everything was going?
In my situation, you can never be fine. But like I said, I always carry myself for people to judge me for who I am, not to judge me on him. I'm not running around using his name so people can say I'm trying to get clout or build up a reputation and none of that. So I did live with a burden as a child because I didn't have a dad. You know, I had to be raised by somebody else. So that was a burden all on me, not for the community, not for things he did. It was just a burden on me not to grow up with a dad, you know, in these streets, and then with the reputation that my dad has. It was hard. I mean, but as a man, I stood strong. I carried myself for how I was raised, and I never really put myself in those type of situations to have to worry about stuff like that.
That's fire. Now, you went through a large portion of your life without him physically being there. When he came home, was there efforts made to reconnect a bond or establish solidify that relationship even further? Even though I'm pretty sure y'all kept in touch throughout the years, you know, whether it was phone calls or letters and things like and visits. But when he physically came home, how did that make you feel?
Shit, I was like a kid at a candy store. Nothing he did made me wonder or question. It was, I got a father back, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody's gonna always have what they gotta say behind it, but me as a child, I got my father back. Like, I got a chance to build something, show my son something, like, you know what I'm saying? Too many kids in my situation don't even have a father. I was blessed to have two fathers. So to get him back for 6 years I had him, that was a blessing. I mean, knowing that it all fell short now after 6 years, that shit's hurtful. You know, that shit is hurtful. Like, everybody talking, streets lost a legend. I lost a parent. That shit ain't nothing to compare to that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing nobody's gonna say out here that's gonna justify that. No matter what he did in the streets, I lost a parent. I lost 25 years of my life knowing what me and my father could have built, to then have him for 6 years and get that taken away from me. I'm still growing. I'm still progressing as a man, and it's hard to do all that now and can't call him or show him. But I can say this, man, from what he taught me from visiting him, he lived his truth. That's how I live my life. So my truth is my truth. It ain't nothing based on him. So if anything came out of him being in jail and me not being able to see him, it's always for me to live my truth, and that's just how I carry myself.
Yes, and that's fire, you know, and I want to say that I'm proud of you, because a lot of people would, you know, use that and run with it and try to collect accolades and clout and different things like that. And you're not doing that. You're still trying to stand firm on your two. And I think that's something that your father gave you, you know, to be your own man, you know, whether you see it or not. But I really feel like you got that from your father. You know what I'm saying? So he comes home. Yeah, trying to reconnect on a physical level, because that is quite different than, you know, establish. Huh?
Came home, a picture went viral of us. So you know, it was just, you know, shocking. Like, you know what I'm saying, this man came home, picture went viral. I was just so happy to have a father home. I didn't think of the street reparations behind that. But what can I do? I'm living in my truth. Like I said, I was a kid at a candy store. I had my dad home. It was time to see what me and him could build.
Yes. But in reality, with that being said, even though you're establishing your personal relationship on a physical level, because now he's home after all these years, you knew that it also shook up the streets. You understand? So because I'm pretty sure that kind of energy wasn't happening while he was in prison. Now, all of a sudden, you have one of the most cultural icons back out on the streets, and the people really took to it. So what was that change like for you? Because 1 minute the streets were quiet, and now everybody's making noise and more vibrant and more energetic and things like that. Did you see a negative side to that? Like seeing people change their position, like, you know, always stated that they were mad at him or felt some type of way about who he was, but then turn around and change their position once he was home?
I mean, if you living in my shoes, then the negative never stop. Shit's been all my life, but I'm just built from some different cloth where shit just burst off me. Shit just is not for me. Like I'm not gonna be and I'm not gonna be indulging in conflict over shit that I don't know nothing about. You know what I'm saying? I was brought into this world. I wasn't brought into this world with the problems that occurred. You got a lot of people that want to live lives off their parents from years where you wasn't even born. Streets have changed a lot since then. I'm sorry for whatever people had to do or go through, but that don't got nothing to do with me. I wasn't brought in to deal with his problems or deal with the shit he did. I'm not running around glorifying nothing he did. Things he did, I still have questions about, but I no longer can ask him or justify the facts on why he did what he did because he was taken from me. But then again, when you choose his lane, there's only two options: jail or the cemetery. In my case, he got to indulge in both. You understand what I'm saying? So I never really let myself get into this politics or do any of that. Like so, it's been the same for me when he was in jail.
But did you let that affect your personal relationships? Was it ever like a trust issue type of thing, worrying about people's true intentions when you meet them or them figuring out who you really are? Did you like put up walls so people can't totally be to get inside relationships with you? Did you have that wall up with people
I just never
entering your life?
I just never allowed nobody to get close to me whose intentions wasn't already normal or been around me. Like my circle's real small. Like you know what I'm saying? You won't hear from me. You don't hear from me. There's been plenty things said about me in the media that I was dead or I'm scared. I'm not scared. I just don't indulge in shit that don't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? I got my own life to live. That shit is all past tense to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, nah, I never really let it affect me and him. I just wanted to build a relationship with my dad. Like, you know what I'm saying? That on his street shit really got nothing to do with me.
Yes, and I'm glad you took up that persona. So the reason why I'm asking you that, because a lot of things came to the surface. You know, we're gonna address some of the elephants in the room that has happened due to the stature of your dad. So being that you don't try to claim any kind of clout or anything like that, you have people who have. There is rumors or situations where somebody felt like they're his son too. Why are you laughing?
You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just say this before we even get into that question. People can say what you want. I'm certified stamp. My name is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So whoever wants to run with it, that's cool. Personally, my dad told me he got two kids. The one that's the junior, and then the one that lives where he lives. So that's all I know.
Okay, because I'm gonna just go out and say it. You have Paparazzi Po, upcoming hip hop artist that goes around claiming that he is his son. Is that true? Because you have a lot of people who say that that's not true. I seen other people came on and did interviews, but even now after he's gone, he is still having interviews talking about that he's his son and different things like that. It's like as soon as your dad died, immediately Paparazzi Po took to an interview and was talking about him like if he was his son. So can you address that? Is it true? Is Paparazzi Po his son?
To be honest, right? I met Kid. Got no problems with Kid. Me and Kid got no beef. I'm not one to tell if I'm his brother or not. But when my dad came home, I brought my dad in front of this kid because I met the kid before that. Like I said, no beef with the kid. Brought my dad in front of him. My dad clearly told him, I got two sons, the two that I know about. That's the only thing I'm going to say on that. Like, he said it out his mouth. I know who I am. I got no time to depend on nobody or worry about who they are. It came out his mouth. He said he got two sons, me and the brother that I know about. So As far as him being Alpo's son, never heard anything else outside of my dad but that.
Okay, so one of the things that he also said was that they took a DNA test with each other. He goes on the interview. Is that true?
That's not true.
Can you say that for the record?
That's not true. Wasn't no DNA test involved.
All right. So some people may feel like they're confused a little bit because you did an interview with Sub-Zero. And that's when he had like his old Dapper Dan Louis Vuitton custom jacket. Yeah, sat out there and y'all did an interview with Sub-Zero. So that's what allowed people to believe that he was actually his son. But I mean, I'm looking at the video. You seemed a little bit uncomfortable and you was just out there for support and out of curiosity as opposed to actually co-signing that situation. So can you bring us back to that day and explain what actually happened for y'all to do that interview with Sub-Zero, and how did he have access to your father's coat?
I'm glad that was brought up. I was with my god brother right here. I pulled up on dude to see him. Like I said, this was before he met my dad in person, literally in person. So I had no recollection.
Oh, so at that moment when he did that interview with the jacket, he haven't met Alpo yet.
The interview that I did, the interview that I was in, he hasn't met him today. Prior to that interview, I brought my aunt and my dad in front of this kid because my dad was tired of hearing the rumors and all that. He asked to meet him. I had the connections to meet him, so we met him. My dad told him, "You ain't my son. These are the two sons that I know about. This is what it is." As far as the coat and him getting the coat, yes, that was the real coat in the interview that he did. As far as how he got the coat and all that, I'm not gonna speak on that. But it was the real coat in the interview. He's not lying about that. But I'm not gonna speak on the situation of how he got the coat. But the coat was real. He did get the.
All right. So did he rent it, pay for it, or it was generally given?
I don't know the business accolades to that situation. I just know when my dad went to go pick up the coat, and after that, I got dropped off. My dad handled everything after that. So I don't know if there was a payment involved. I don't know any of that. Like I said, I'm not speaking on that because I don't know. But all I'm saying is, for anybody that thinks the coat wasn't real, he did have the actual coat. But I'm not going to speak on the terms onto which the coat was brought to him because I don't know. But the coat was real. So that's not a lie. The coat was real.
Okay. So in a recent interview, he can't, and I'm asking you questions based off of things that's already out there. So in a recent interview, he talks about that moment where you, him, and your aunt pulled up, and he was trying to say it was because he was having some kind of beef or something happened with him, and then he pulled up with his motorcycle when you guys in tow to see how he was doing. He came to a spot. I guess his friends and stuff was there. He was telling his friends to go chill and put the weed away and stuff like that. So since you were there, you claimed that you was there. He also admitted that you was there in his interview. What actually happened in your perspective?
As far as pulling up, yes, we did. Me, my aunt, and my dad. It wasn't for no beefs that he had. It wasn't nothing. It was for my dad to finally see the kid who was claiming he was his son, and for them to meet in person and talk. Like I said, I brought my dad to him. They had their own conversation. I wasn't a part of it. Never needed to be a part of it because I know where I stand. I know who I am. But it wasn't as he made it seem. It was for him to actually just meet him in person. Like, so it wasn't for him to come save him from no beef. He didn't pull up on a motorcycle. He pulled up in a car with me and my aunt, and the meeting went down like that. Like it was nothing else to it. Like that's just how it happened. Exactly how I'm saying it. That's how it happened.
Okay. Now, moving forward, you see interviews that he's done with Queen's Flip. It's evident that your dad did stay in contact with him, but was that like a more of a business thing or curiosity, or it was did he think in the back of the mind that he can possibly be his son?
Honestly,
like the whole situation with King Erna. They were supposed to be some type of celebrity match. They were supposed to be going on. Not him, but Paparazzi Po went on Queen's Flip.
I feel everything is kind of publicity stunted. Like, I have nothing to do with King Erna, so I don't see how all the headlines Alpo son is gonna fight King Erna. I don't have nothing to do with that. So my dad is who he is, so you got to take it to where, like I said, I wasn't around for everything. Like, I know who I am, so my dad kept me out of certain things. So if my dad did continue to keep in contact with him, then you got to know it was something talked about or business wise within that situation. But if you can ask anybody, if you ever heard it out the horse's mouth, he always claimed to have 2 sons. And
yeah. Yeah, and I was fortunate enough to talk to your father before he passed away, and I asked him that question. And for the record, he told me flat out, no, that wasn't his son. So I just have to say that since we're talking about the situation, I asked him personally, what was it? It was a situation where I was trying to get an interview with your father. We were around certain people and they was like, well, I will feel some type of way if he was to do an interview with anybody else. So your father approached me about that, like, oh, you going to feel some type of way? And I was like, yeah, I am going to feel some type of way. So he was like, what are you going to ask me? And I was like, can I record right now? He was like, nah, don't record right now, because if we're going to do it, we're going to do it right. So I'm like, that's a fact. And then I was like, well, I got one burning question because I have to get it off my chest because it's crazy, all the back and forth. And I was like, is Paparazzi your son? And he told me no at that time. And this was after the King Erna. This was after the Flip interview and all this other stuff. Did he ever feel like this situation was going to be a problem dealing with or having Paparazzi Po in his life? Did he feel like it was going to be a nuisance?
Honestly, he said the kid can say whatever he wants. He knew who he was claiming. Ain't much to that story. Listen, I'm not here to shame nobody or none of that. Like I said, I know who I am. Other than that, I really don't give a fuck who claimed they my brother and sister. I know who I am. My shit certified on my name and my birth certificate. I ain't gotta worry about nobody else. So that's what you want to live by, live by. Everything my father did wasn't good, so that's the thing he want to live by. Go ahead. Like I said, I'm making my own path and my own journey. When I get up out of these streets, they gonna remember me just for me or how I carried myself out here. So I really don't know none of that.
Yes. So you, when your father was alive, y'all riding around, y'all establishing your bond, y'all trying to connect and establish a relationship even tighter than what it was. I'm glad I was able to bear witness to that situation. And then as soon as it feels like things is growing great and is becoming stronger and things like that, he catches his demise. On Halloween last year, 2021. How did you feel when you heard that news in the morning, that unsettling morning?
How did I feel? Shit, I'm still dealing with it. I still wake up in nights, hard sleep, wondering, like, damn, I can't even talk to my father. I waited 20-some years to be around my father. And in 6 years, he took it from me. It's hard, you know what I'm saying? It's hard to raise a kid out here, to can't show him his grandfather. Hard to bring in another kid if I ever do that to say he doesn't have a grandfather. But like I said, I was fortunate to be raised by somebody else who never let me forget who my father was and just raised me to be something better that my father could be proud of. You know what I'm saying? Like, I never had no intentions to run with my father's street name or do any of that. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was what I do now and how I've been moving on my life is just to make sure he was always proud of me. To see that no matter how much bad he did in his life, he put something good in his world. And if you ask anybody about me or anybody that know me, I get love from everybody. Like, You know what I'm saying? Like I could go anywhere and be good. Ain't no static for me. So that's what I did. I did that to make him have something good in this world. Like people gonna look at him for everything he did, but can't nobody say nothing about what he brought in this world. I don't undercut nobody. I live my life. I'm just a good dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people fuck with me. Older niggas that's older than other niggas that niggas feel like those they OGs. I get love from those type of niggas. I can't even relate to niggas that's in my age bracket because my mindset is so ahead. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's just how I carry myself. It's unfortunate that I inherited a crown that I wasn't even looking for. But I'd be damned if I let the name die.
Yes, that's real commendable and respectable, you know. But seeing how his death affected the city, you know, you had a lot of people who was actually celebrating, and then you had a lot of people who were scared to show any kind of condolences because of who he was, and then you had a large group of people who generally have love for him. So with all those different mixed emotions, and it's not like it's regular mixed emotions. All those different things were on a grand scale. You know what I'm saying? How did that make you feel in that moment, watching the effect that your father had on New York City, especially Harlem?
People are entitled to feel what they want to feel. People lost people due to the game and all that, so people are entitled to feel how they feel. Like, so if people pop champagne, he died, that's cool. I mean, I got no hate towards nobody. Everybody's entitled to feel how they feel. I'm just entitled to feel how I feel and deal with what I'm dealing with. They dealing with what they dealing with. I'm dealing with what I'm dealing with. I'm not taking nothing from nobody. And like I said, his decisions ain't my decisions. So I'm not here hating nobody. I'm not here faulting nobody. You in this game, that's the life you live. There's only two options, dead or jail. So I don't really hate nobody. Let them live the way they live. You know what I'm saying? Let them grieve the way they grieve. Because I'm grieving how I grieve. I don't blame nobody. I don't fault nobody. Life is life. You know what I'm saying? We all gonna die. So it's nobody's fault. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I have no hate towards nobody. Or despite all the shit that he's done, I have no hate towards nobody. Like that ain't my story to pick up and keep it going. It's my job to reinvent that story and show that because we come from a line of people who did dirt or did something in the streets that we gotta continue that. I'm just me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm trying to do something better. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to progress and that's all.
Yes, and I'm happy that you said that because I mean, but do you really get the effect of how iconic your father is? Because even still to this day, there are still articles being written about him in the newspaper and major news outlets like the New York Post. You still have people like Paparazzi Po, like even like right after he.
To be honest, all those things do to me is bring more hurt my way. As I'm trying to cope with my father's death, that doesn't motivate me to be more streetwise or more out there and all that. Like my pop's going on about 6 months that he's been gone now. This is the first interview I've done. I've been dwelling with the pain of losing a parent. We got 50% of our mother and 50% of my father. And now as an adult, I'm growing up with half of that. I got my mother left. That's it. So I really don't dwell on what the streets are going to say. There's always going to be articles about him. He's going to be talked about till the day that I die. He's going to be talked about till the day my son is raised and his kids are raised. So I really don't put my life into shit like that. Like I got to keep moving. I got things I got to do. Like, so it hurts, you know, because I'm going to always see it, but I'm a better man than that. Like, so I don't let it get to me. I keep on showing people, no matter how much a person does bad in this world, they can leave something good. And for my father, for all the bad that he's good, I'm that something. For all the bad that he's done, I'm that something good.
And then that's so beautiful, Gumby. Like you're about to make me cry.
So it also counts to have a mother like mine. You understand? She had to.
Yeah, and I was about to say that. I want to give a nod to your mom. You know, I'm pretty sure it's mixed emotions. I'm pretty sure it's a lot of barriers and certain things that you got to go through. And then given the caliber of your father, having to deal with the outside world. So what are some of the things that you did to keep your mental state together, to silence a lot of that noise? Because let's keep it real. He wasn't your average dude.
I mean, you see my circle. I got niggas that love me for me. So I was always brought up with real love. So nobody let me go outside of that. Nobody let me try to live that. Like, everybody showed me I had enough potential to live my own path, and I always stay busy at work, play football. Everybody in my hood knows me. If you know where I'm from, my block loves me. Old ladies, kids. I'm just a different version of my pops.
You look like him too. You look like the light just came on your face, and it's like, oh shit. You look like a light skinned version of him. It's fucking crazy. I mean, you look more like him right now than the last time I saw you. It's almost like you're morphing. I don't know. It's just weird.
Really don't have to deal with nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's my pops. I always kept it. That's my pops. Never really wanted to step in his shoes. I wanted to step in my own.
Yes. So there's talks about him coming out with a movie. You see a lot of people clout chasing ever since then. You know, like I don't want to keep reiterating Paparazzi Po, but this is what reality happened. You know, you saw the interviews that came out. He did at least 3 already. Then you saw Dame Dash with the Paid in Full 2 right after your father. But then we also know that he was also signing contracts for a biopic or something like that to happen in his favor. So do you know any information about that? And if so, can you talk about what's going on? Will we be seeing an official biofilm being more accurate with his side of the story of things?
Maybe I just gotta wait.
Oh, God. Don't give me no cliffhanger.
Maybe I just gotta wait. I don't know. Things could turn that way. Things cannot. Maybe we just want to let stuff die down. Maybe we want to portray him for the other part of him. Things gotta wait. But if it's a biopic about me, then you can ask about that. But like I said, I'm not one to live in that thing.
If there was a biopic about your dad, I'm pretty sure you would have to be in the movie. So who would you want to play you? Who can you see playing Albert Jr.?
I don't know, because I'll be playing Albert Sr.
Exclusive!
If anybody's going to portray my father, it might as well be his son, right?
Yeah.
Lil Meech did it, so why not me?
Yes. You got to get a tan a little bit, though. You got to put a little tan on your ass.
Ain't nothing. I don't need a tan. Ain't nothing you can tell about this smile that wouldn't make the movie any different.
Yo, it's cold out. It's freezing out.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to hear that. And I'm excited. You got me excited. Yeah, so speaking of films and stuff like that, when your father was alive, he traced back his steps with Troy Reed. He went to the site and everything like that. Did you feel like that was the smart thing your father could have did?
Honestly, the way society is now, maybe half selfish and half understandable. Selfish on his part because he do got kids, and understandable on the part where he deserves to be able to tell his story as well. His story was told by other people and generated how they wanted to make it. So selfish as far as the part where you do got kids, you gotta look out for and worry about safety, but understandable in the part where he's a man who has to also tell his truth and get his side of the story out. So when that came out, it was just more like, or maybe he's speaking up for himself now, you know what I'm saying? Even though it might seem selfish on the fact of the safety for his family, not just me, but his other family, you know what I'm saying? But he deserves to get his truth out there and his explanation out there.
Yeah. when your father passed, a lot of people felt some type of way for not actually being there, and I think Troy Reed was one of them, along as anything else. Was it a reason why a lot of people were kept out of the situation at the end of at the end?
Yeah, look who he was. Ain't nothing else to say towards that, but look who he was. Was it supposed to be a national thing? 90%, let's say 70% of the accusations in the street is hate about it. The other 30% is love. Why would we make it a broadcast? It is what it is. We dealt with our loss, and the streets dealt with their loss how they wanted to. Why make it more than what it needed to be? The streets didn't need a circus for that death. It already got it once he died. So we let them grieve.
Well, one of the things that were said in the streets, and like I said, I'm just, bringing the information here. So one of the things that was said in the street is because your father lived such a grand life, everything that he did was big. Like even just chilling on the block wasn't something that you just sit on the benches and did. It was always taken to the 10th power, even doing regular shit. And a lot of people felt the family should have did something grand and that will coincide with the way he lived. What do you say to that?
Grand for who? Wasn't grand for us. He took a loss. Wasn't nothing grand about that. Give Harlem what they wanted because what? He's a Harlem legend? Half of Harlem don't even like him. So what were we supposed to do? Jeopardize our safety, our family's safety to give Harlem something that they wanted? We played it how normal people and outsiders should play it. We let the streets take it how they wanted to take it, and we dealt with it as family how we should take it. That's all. We're not gonna flaunt and throw his death in the air to people and make it a celebration when people also lost people behind him. So that wasn't cool. So like it goes back to what I said. People are allowed to grieve how they grieve. We grieve how we grieve. But it wasn't no need for a spectacle. Wasn't nothing special about that day. I'm gonna forever remember October 31st.
Yeah, Halloween ain't the same no more.
And people's gonna always have their recollection on that, and I'm gonna always have mine. I lost my dad this day. Y'all lost somebody y'all could talk about. I lost somebody I can't talk to no more.
That's beautiful. So in the news, they claimed that they found the killer. He was arrested on it.
I would rather not talk about that.
Okay. And I respect that. I respect that. So moving forward, what is going to be the legacy of Albert Gumby Martinez? Because, I mean, you said it throughout this whole interview that you're not riding your father's coattail. You want to be known for your own life. You want to be known for your own credit. And what do you say to the haters and those that is clout chasing, using your father's name for accolades or trying to come up in this world, whether it be a rapper, a film producer, or anything else? And is there steps being taken to protect your father's name and legacy?
Honestly, you want my real answer on that?
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Get your bag, because I'm going to always get mine. I can't stop what the world's going to say about it. No matter how many interviews I do, no how many podcasts I do, people going to have their feelings about my father, and I'm going to have my feelings about my father. So, whatever floats your boat, do that. But I know you can't say nothing bad on my name. And there's no shot to my father. He's just him and not me. So say what you want, because there's going to be stories about him to the day all of us die. He's going to be talked about. As much as people want to say he's a snitch, you still got his name in your mouth. You make that snitch relevant.
Exactly.
Bring him up. So I really don't...
Hold up, I got to do a commentary. I just have to right now. It's just calling for it. Listen, even with, and this is, outside of whatever, this is my personal commentary, and I have to say it because we're having this conversation. But even with people in Harlem celebrating his demise and shit like that, at the end of the day, you guys didn't do that shit. You guys didn't do it. You're sitting here popping bottles and celebrating something that you were unable to accomplish on your own. And if you really felt some type of way about him, then you should have had the balls to handle it. Outside of that situation,
in the streets and how they think is, I know what they didn't do, but they gonna talk about it. So let them talk about it.
Yeah, but I gotta let me get this second part out. What I've noticed, especially being in these clubhouse streets, a lot of these washed up ex-drug dealers who didn't even have no type of fame or clout or anything like that during the 80s, 90s, or whatever the case may be. Now all of a sudden you got books and deals and shit like that, and you using his name. A lot of y'all always talking about, well, he's a snitch and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't have content if it wasn't for this man. A lot of you people are eating all the snitch and all of that shit. You eating off this man's name. So at the end of the day, let's ask that question: are you still his son though? You still his son though? Not Gumby. I'm talking about all the people who talking shit and doing all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, his name feeds you. So at the end of the day, you under his wing. You his son. He still got you sunned out here. And all you washed up drug dealers and shit like that, even when you was in your heyday, nobody knew about you. The only reason why we know about you right now is because you talking his name. So let's knock that shit off. Okay, back to regular scheduled program. Okay, go ahead, Gumby.
I don't throw shots at nobody. To each his own, you know what I'm saying? But for so many people that hate,
I'm throwing shots. Fuck that.
I'm just saying, I get it, but, you know what I'm saying? I don't bring that karma to me. I need things to flow my way. But as far as how it's really portrayed in the streets, so much hate towards this man, y'all won't let him die. Y'all keep him.
It's like he's Candyman. When he was alive, he was Sasquatch. Now that he's dead, now that he's passed, it's like he's Candyman. Like, I don't get it.
If y'all really hate him that much, y'all let it die down, but y'all keep him relevant. So this is why I say I don't indulge in none of this street politics, because it's your choice to keep him relevant. I don't keep him, you know what I'm saying? I keep him relevant as far as a father in my heart, all that. But street-wise, I don't keep him relevant because it's time y'all just let it go. It happened. It wasn't nothing good from that era, but it happened. Like, you know what I'm saying? Y'all reliving it. Nobody really knows. You got people that's younger than me acting like they know what it is, but nobody.
Please, at the end of my commentary, he outsmarted a lot of you niggas, because when you in that situation, it's either you or him. Because let's keep it real. Y'all niggas out here wasn't fucking angels and shit like that. Y'all were killers too. Y'all was killers too. And on some real shit, y'all just mad that he fucking outsmarted the situation. So
where we at?
I'm just saying. All right, back to the regular schedule program. I'm sorry.
I got a viewer that wants to say something.
Yo.
Oh, okay, yeah, go ahead.
Yo, it's the original.
Okay, so we're gonna wrap this thing up. You know, a lot of dope things were said. A lot of pink elephants in the room was put in their cages, and hopefully that'll stop a lot of the circus that's happening these days. But I want to leave you the floor, but you said a lot of dope stuff, and on some real shit, Gumby, I'm proud of you. Like, your maturity level, I slept on. I'm not gonna even hold you. I thought you was this, because I see you as a little kid still, you know. But your maturity level is on point. I'm proud of you.
I don't know where I would be without my mom and my stepdad and these people that I got with me in this car. You know what I'm saying? I had a good support system all my life, so I'm blessed and I'm fortunate for that. You know what I'm saying? So, being who I am and coming from the dad that I come from, shit ain't easy to be out here alone. And I was fortunate to be blessed with a great support system and actually have the opportunity for a mom to bring in a man in my life and actually show me, like, you ain't gotta fall into that position because that's who your dad is. Like, you can be something better. Like, you could be something greater. And then I had a support system behind me with close friends who never let me shy in that path. You know what I'm saying? Even though some people might have took that path, they never let me fall into that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like I said, I'm blessed. Like I don't want nothing more, nothing less for nobody else. I'm blessed and fortunate to fall where I fell and be able to be taught and carry myself the way I carry myself. But a lot of that shit goes, to my mom, never giving up or never letting go of her son and protecting him from what the streets might have wanted to endure in my life. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, blessed just to have the support system like family I have. You know what I'm saying? So that's all. I'm just blessed. You know what I'm saying? I thank God every day for the people that I got around me, and that's why I'm built with loyalty before royalty. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I carry myself.
Yes. And I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And I think you're going to do real well keeping, or at least hopefully bringing that legacy into a more positive light, because even though I was, doing my little rants and stuff like that, sometimes I get to do that. I did it when I interviewed Havoc about Prodigy. I have those little moments because sometimes I see the world differently. I think a lot of people be jumping on bandwagons just to say or be a part of the group and stuff like that, and not necessarily knowing the truth or even in their lifestyle to even put commentary on it. And I feel like we need to do better as a people and use his life as a learning lesson. And even when there's bad, there's also good. And, on the contrary to what a lot of people may believe, a lot of people did have love for him. People used to get excited when he would come around. And I think he helped a lot of people out there as well. So, maybe moving forward, the world gets to see that positive light, as opposed to killing other killers or killing other drug dealers and things like that, because I feel like that's just a negative. And as a people and in a society, we always focus on the negative and not necessarily the positive. So maybe moving forward, a lot of things will change in that perspective. And I hope these clout chasers stop clout chasing. I hope this clears up a lot of rumors and a lot of confusion out there. And I hope that message is understood, because, you can't, people have to understand their actions, how it affects a whole family, how it affects other kids. While people are sitting here looking for the limelight, you have people actually grieving authentically, not just saying that in front of a camera.
I'll be honest with you. I only took this interview so people could see me for me. I don't want to be looked at for who my dad is. I want to be looked at for me. So, to be honest, if people take this interview and they try to turn it another way, you just really want to hate me because of who my dad is. You don't hate me because of who I am. You don't hate me because of the man that I am. You hate me all because my dad's a legend and his past has a past. You know what I'm saying? So I did this interview just to clear my name and show people, if you want to approach me, there's no hate in me. Like, depending on how you approach me, things can go smoothly. Like, you understand what I'm saying? So I did this interview just to show, like, see me for me. Don't see me and be like, oh, that's Alpo's son. It's an animosity to him. I got niggas that never even met me in person who got a problem with me. And that shit is unbelievable to me, because I don't indulge in none of this shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? I got 2 interviews I did in my life. One with Sub-Zero and one with you. So people can't say that I'm out here bragging or antagonizing them to the hurt that they're indulging. Nah, I feel for everybody. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because I actually got to go through what everybody else just went through. You know what I'm saying? People lost. I just lost. So I'm in the same boat as y'all. You understand what I'm saying? So don't judge me because of what he did. See me for what I am. Same thing as y'all. Y'all took a loss. I took a loss.
Yeah, and I think you did an amazing job, and I felt like it was necessary too. Like, I want to hear your story. I want to see where your mind is at, and at the same time check in with you. I felt like that was very important for me to check in with you. You know what I'm saying? On another level, we don't gotta discuss, on here, but I felt like it was very necessary, to do that. You know what I'm saying? And to get the real story from you, from the real person, and see where you at with it emotionally. You know, how all these things is affecting you, because I'm pretty sure a lot of people asking how you doing really not genuine with it.
Nah, I'm in my background.
Really not genuine with it. So this is me being concerned authentically. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to do this in person, you know what I'm saying? Give you a hug and all that shit. You know, and I appreciate you choosing me or accepting my invitation to come on my show. Like, that means a lot to me, and I'll never forget this.
What other better platform than a family platform?
Right?
If anybody's gonna get
shit,
the scoop, it gotta be.
Because I would have felt some type of way too. I would have came to you. It would have been hands on site.
Nah, I did it because you family, but I also did it to show people I'm human, man. I'm going through what y'all going through, and I feel it. I feel what y'all might have felt, or anybody that might have felt this due to the streets and losses to the streets. Like, shit is hurtful to anybody that loses anybody, whether he's a loved kingpin or he's not a loved kingpin. Death is death, man. We all want to deal with it the same.
Yes.
So,
yes.
I appreciate it.
Well, you know, I know your future is going to be bright. I'm proud of the young man that you became, even with this interview. I mean, we talked before and all that stuff. We chill, we vibe, you know, and stuff like that. But to see this maturity on a different light, is actually breathtaking, and I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And I wish you all the best. And we're going to get up. But, you know, I'm just saying that for interview purposes. But you know what it is.
You know.
Yeah, so give anybody that you want a shout out. Say your last words, and we can wrap this thing up.
GTM. That's it.
Yes, GTM. Oh, tell them what that stands for.
That's me and my brothers. Our what would we call it? Corporation. It's our corporation. It means get that money. And it also underscore, you know, loyalty before royalty. You gotta be loyal to those who you rock with before you can receive those riches. So when they down, you down. You never above.
So, but what is that? Is it a label, a management company, a clothing line? What kind of business is it?
Honestly, it's just our lifestyle. It's just our life.
It's the money.
Get that money. Whether it's legal, illegal, but to get that money together. We a family. We got rules to our work. I'ma say we like the mafia. We got rules to how we handle each other. Nobody's above nobody in my circle. You know what I'm saying? If one got it, we all got it. If one is down and the other one got it, we still all down until that brother comes back up.
That's fire.
Get that money. Anybody that's out there doing their own thing, those are something to live by. GTM, get that money. Don't let nobody stop your money. No matter how much hate is out there, that bag means everything. Because in this society, as long as you got the bag, everybody love you. So that's just all. GTM.
All right, well, thank you for sitting with me. We definitely gonna get back up again. I don't want to hold you, but it has been an amazing interview, and you know, I can't ask for anything better. And shout out to you and the rest of the fam for that. I appreciate you.
That tuned in and all that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
Now
I love you too.
Now I'm about to go get lit.
Go get lit. Yes. I see you next time. All right. Hang up because I don't know how to do it. It's weird. And I don't want to touch anything. Yes. We had an amazing exclusive interview. Now, usually my show is Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I had to make an exception for this exclusive interview, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. You know, I felt like it was necessary. Now, this is my personal, commentation, has nothing to do with Gumby or anything like that. Even when I was involved with the interview with him, that's why I made that disclaimer before I went on my little rants and shit like that. So this is what is me. You know, one thing that he did say about the situation is like, a lot of things that people were doing, such like a Paparazzi Po, they're not taking into consideration how that affects the family, especially with us knowing certain things. Especially with Gumby himself, his real son, out there knowing certain things. You know, people out here clout chasing, doing interviews, doing all this other shit where his real sons, both of his real sons wasn't even out there doing because they was too busy in their feelings that the fact that they lost their father. Now, no matter how you feel about Alpo, no matter how you may feel personally, you still wasn't that man's family. You wasn't his son, uncle, things like that. And I'm pretty sure if the shoe was on the other foot, you wouldn't want people to try to infiltrate on your family. I kind of wanted to put that circus to rest because, you know, Paparazzi Po did a lot of weird shit. You know what I'm saying? He would contact other family members, borrow money from certain people who may not know better, try to get in contact with like the most distant family members, you know, and some close, but some more distant than others, just to have like a shoe in. And it just seemed a little stalkerish. And then, you know, when he passed, he's doing all these interviews, and that's my dad. And, you know, you have all these, when we took a DNA test. I spoke to Paparazzi Po. He admitted that there was no DNA test. And this is just a time where a lot of things are real sensitive. I mean, it's understandable for the ops to come out there and say certain things because, like I said, we're not involved in that street life. All his family understands is that they lost somebody that they held dear to their heart. Now, if you are so-called family, why are you not actually reaching out to the family and genuinely? Why are you out here taking to news media outlets and these fucking blogs that really don't give a fuck about you as an artist? They just want to raise their YouTube views based off of the conversation, and that is Alpo, not Paparazzi Po. So I felt like it was very necessary for us to get this out there because it's like enough is enough with this shit. Like, how long are you gonna be out here playing pretend? Like, it's weird. It's weird as fuck. And I feel like it has to stop. So, and I felt like it was very necessary because everybody's always talking about keeping it real. You gotta keep it real. You gotta, you know, all this other shit. We don't do it for clout and all this other stuff when his whole career is based off of that lie. So hopefully, you know, that'll end the lie. You know, hopefully, yeah, I'm not gonna give it too much light. Shout out to Chinky QB. I'm not going to give it too much light. I'm going to leave it right there, but I felt like this was very necessary for that to happen. And shout out to Gumby for sitting with me to do this interview. He agreed to do it. And, you know, we trying to shed light on other things. And not only that, bring light to Gumby. Because he's a dope man himself. He's not involved in that situation. He wasn't there. He, you know, he didn't live that lifestyle. He still doesn't live that lifestyle. And obviously, you see, he's a great young man. And I think that this was a great opportunity for him to tell his story and how this whole situation affected him, even before the death. So I felt like that was very necessary for us to do, you know, while everybody else is taking credit and trying to get the limelight and doing all this other stuff. Let's give that shine to somebody who really deserves it, even if he's not even asking for it. I felt it was necessary, and I'm just glad that he agreed to it. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to end this live. Thank you for everybody that tuned in on Clubhouse as well as Instagram Live. This will be on streaming platforms. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. Please like, please share, get that comment section poppy, and let me know what you think. Even if you hated the video, I want to know why with your hating ass. And let's get it. Salute to everybody. Let's be better than who we were yesterday so we could break the chains and generational curses that'll be on our backs tomorrow. And with that being said, I'm off this.
Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and share. But most importantly, subscribe and hit that notification bell. ChaChaLive.media. Let's get it.